All right. Greetings and welcome. January 5th, 2017. Gregorian camera. I mean calendar. I keep calling it camera, so there must be something I need to be doing with the camera. But anyway, 1-5. I'm speaking to calendars too because the Gregorian doesn't, the Roman calendar doesn't use the month Epiphagus, so the Ethiopian camera, or Ahamric, is more kind of literally more the correct calendar. So the new year would be technically kind of definitely how the Chinese have it near the end of February. But this one was dope. I tried to do another sermon earlier, or lecture, whatever you want to call it, just speak inspiring words, because I was really inspired by Supernova, but I couldn't get that message right. It just shows, oh, okay, well, that means, well, I need to do another message. I went through a flow, even though one of the messages kept resonating with me. I might save that for another time, or maybe develop with this lecture. But this one is about paths, so it's really dope. So this is really cool. Let me talk about, I think I'm probably meant for deep spirituality and just ascension and getting straight to the point. So a lot of my stuff I was going to talk about partnerships and relationships and kind of being the best friend with your relationship. That was the direction I was going. But I'm going to go even deeper. I'm going to talk about initiation of self. So in spirituality, whether you're not spiritual or not, no matter how you feel or you perceive yourself, you are a spirit being first, and then a material or matter or humane. Hue means light, and mind, that is the body or the vehicle. So either, however you perceive yourself, you are a light body first. So, and being in a light body, you have a specific mission task to be here. There's a reason that you incarnated on earth in this form. You have a specific task, mission to complete, whether it's a healer, whether it's a light worker, whether it's an indigo, whether it's rainbow, whether it's to uplift humanity, and through whatever talent that you may have, or work, or speak, whatever you may have. But anyway, I want to get to this, which I've seen this a lot. We all have a specific blueprint, just like, okay, this is this house I want, and this is a Victorian style. This is a more modern style heart with clean lines and stuff like that. Or this may be a Spanish style architecture. This might be a Mediterranean, or this is something I might see in India as style home. These are different specific style homes, and they have different structural blueprints. What I realize is everyone's trying to put a modern slate or one blueprint on everybody, and that's just not the case. And this is what I'm going to speak in and going deeper in this. Everyone has a specific task and a life goal and a mission, a blueprint that's there for them. Stop trying to slap this one fits all cookie cutter on the way that a path should be. The path, your true, no one knows better than your higher self of what steps you need to take for your soul's ascension. And I see this a lot, and I like metaphors an analogy, because when I speak, I don't speak just to hear myself. I want people to understand. So I'll give one example, so you could, but this applies to all aspects of life. But I'm gonna start with one example and see if this can build up further. This is one way they do it with relationships. They'd be like, oh, this relationship, if that person loves you, that means they're doing this, this, and this. They're cleaning. They're doing this, or blah, blah. I'm just doing something like real based. This person is clean, or this person does this that way. That does not matter. Each person in each relationship works for that individual. You have different personalities. Yes, we are a lot the same, but we did have different personalities, different characteristics, different things that lets that person communicate and work with that person. Let a person do their relationship their way. Whether it's, okay, some people go down the path of marriage. Some people might be together 50 years and not be married. Some people might be swingers, and that works in their relationship. Stop trying to put a blueprint of what you think is the correct path on other people, because in reality, we have to really get out of this concept, right or wrong, correct path. There's only a correct path for that higher person calling. That's, for example, that's like Albert Einstein talks about it the most. It's like a grading a fish on his ability to climb a tree. If you're a fish, your path is a fucking swimmer. That's what you should be doing. You're not climbing fucking trees. So the monkey is going to do well at that path because that's his path extension. He's a monkey. He's meant to climb. A fish is meant to swim. And that's how we fuck up with our fucking blueprints. A blueprint of a musician or someone who's a rapper or someone who, say, I'll give a prime example. Let's get it back spiritual again. So let's say in a last lifetime, I was extremely wealthy, and I want to come and okay, this blueprint. I want to be more effective, and I want to be more empathetic for people that are not wealthy, so I can have a true understanding to make sure that when I reigned or if I rule a kingdom, I can rule it from all perspectives. So in this incarnation, I might choose to come into a very poor home. So because there's a difference between being in it and looking without. When you look without, and you're an observer, you don't realize what you go through. That's like the person that's wealthy downing the homeless. There's some people that are homeless that are working class, but the same thing with some of the homeless people downing the wealthy. Not everyone who's wealthy is just an asshole and sold out society. Some people work very hard their lives. Some people have been entrepreneurs since 17, 12, 5 and work constantly to get their business where it was. So there's all these expectations and there's all these incorrect answers based on observations of when you're not in it. There's so many people that are spectators and they have so many opinions about shit that they know nothing about. So that's definitely where I want to get on this. So go on your life path the way that works for you, and then and the best way to get that is knowing yourself. Same thing with the health. I'm very health conscious, but with everything I'm about balance. Yes, I jumped into vegetarianism, but I'm stepping into veganism, and I might be a pescatarian possibly because with the fish and some of the now that I don't do eggs or milk, I don't do milk at all, but I don't do eggs and dairy as much, like some of the things well, I'm trying to go to this full transition to vegan. I'm missing kind of B12, so I'm like, okay, I can get the B12 from the fish, or I could take a supplement, but I'm a naturalist, so I'm like, okay, I might just do the fish instead of doing supplements because I really don't like supplements. I really like to live naturally and organically, but you have to be flexible with who you are, and that these come from different things because from being vegetarian, I'm very aware of what I eat and how many vitamins I get, so I'm very conscious of my body, and it stepped there, but I stepped into however I do. I'm not people like, oh, you're vegan. What the hell you eating an Oreo cookie for? And are you eating Doritos or blah blah? And all those do have like pigs and stuff in them. They have like different chemicals and stuff that come from pig, which I don't know why they would put pig in Doritos and gummy bears and stuff like that. But when you get it down to it, a lot of things have like animal products in them, so it's hard for you to be like, okay, vegetarian or vegan, because a lot of those have like a lot of animal products. But you have to step at someone for their own pace and what works for them, not this or that. Everyone is like this or that. Everything is about balance, because even in the greater scope of things, and when I speak on this and speak on veganism, because like I feel like everyone should do what they feel is right for their soul. And a lot of times in incarnation, you might have different spirits in there, and sometimes you might be craving something that our soul might need at that moment. So I'm very much a spiritualist first than anything. Number two, I'm very conscious, so I do resonate a lot with animals, and I'd rather not be eating, but I do care about my health too, because like a deficiency in B12 can cause heart attacks and other things. Like I said, I'm a naturalist, so if I don't have to get it pre-processed from a machine or a pill, I'm thinking about maybe taking detox teas and things like that. I won't do it. So, but it comes with really knowing and understanding myself, not being like, okay, vegans do this, or this person does this way, this do this for you. This is why, like, do what's for you, but this is why I speak on veganism and stuff like that, because everything is energy and vibration. So I'm not going to sit up there and down someone that's eating meat or something like that, but I don't want that same person to down the vegan or the vegetarian. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to organic. Everything is energy and vibration. So if you look at the slaughterhouses and the way that animals are treated and maintained, it's not like the same as it was in the farm. They're being slaughtered. So you're eating that same energy and you're eating that same vibration. So it's not per se the same. Oh, it's not like some people be like, oh, well, plants. Yes, we know plants have energy too. If there's anything on here, even a table has energy. There's nothing on here that's not vibrating and doesn't have the energy. But what you're saying is energy is not destroyed, it's transferred. So that same shock, scared, stress, like that pig was having, or that chick or whatever, before it died, you're eating that. So that's what it's talking about, the consumption, and also the products and all the things that they're putting in, the hormones and stuff. And same thing with vegetables too. Like I said, that's why you can do your best to try to be organic or grow. Or my best thing, I like stuff. My favorite is from the tree or a farm, period. That's my favorite stuff where I could pick it, grow it, or trying to get back into learning to grow my own food. But that's why I speak up when I speak of resonance and frequency. And then also your mind is powerful too. So you don't want to be so over because there's vegetarians and vegans that diet because their mind is always thinking about like cancer or just thinking about the negative. There's nothing more powerful in your mind. Your mind creates everything. But with everything, there's a balance. People just feel the need to go to this extreme, to this extreme. Everything is balanced, even in so-called heaven or the hereafter, whatever. When before you go, your heart has to be lighter than a feather, so you're weighed against the scales of Ma'at, which is Libra, which is balance. No one has balance. They think this is this extreme, this is better than this is this. Everything is bringing each into balance, each in its higher element. Life and the evolution is kind of like walking a tightrope. You have to be balanced to do well in it. Not too much of that, not too much of this. You can't be too weak or you be a martyr or people will run over you. But you can't be so evil and harsh where people don't want to talk to you. You can't be completely emotional where you don't have any type of logic at all when you just something does and you don't even have a full understanding. You're going off the deep handle. But you can't be so illogical where you don't have empathy and you can't feel the different things that people may be going through because you haven't experienced, because there's so much in our limited vision from being down and stuck in this lower vibration that we don't see. And that's definitely what I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of patience because a lot of times I might jump into emotional, be feeling a certain way about a subject, and I don't have all the facts. So as again, I take myself and look at myself as I am. Like this is how, or another reason why people can't lovingly overcome it. You have to take what you, so a lot of my things were impatience, but I'm learning patience and trying to see the full picture of things before I go off the deep handle, and also learning about, like we said, Box, everyone is different from me, and also learning to be the vibration of what I say I want to have and what I want to attract, and realizing lately that sometimes I'm not that vibration, and then I'm wondering why I'm attracting things that they're doing things to me the same way that I'm attracting out. Okay, I want to be completely honest with me, whether I like the answer or not, but sometimes I'm not doing that. I'm scared, or I'm doing this because I'm living in a vibration of fear of what might happen towards a negative outcome. And it's all predictions. When you think about it, you create your own reality instead of just being a love basis and letting my ghost of my past and my experiences before mold me into what I think there should be. But everything is an experience and is a vibration and is a frequency, and it doesn't, like I said, it's kind of like there's this parable about kind of the Chinese man and his son and the horse and how he got his legs broken. And then one time he's like, okay, his son got legs broken, and someone's like, oh man, that's bad luck. He got his legs broken. The son, he said, well, there's no good or bad luck. Next week, prime example, there was a military draft, and they drafted all the boys. And then he was like, oh, wow, good luck that your son, that his legs were broken because he didn't have to do the draft. And then I can't remember the last part of the parable, but then something else happened. But it's not per se, you can't look at stuff and good luck and bad luck with our limited experience or our limited vision. Sometimes things are not what they seem or what they appear. Sometimes you have to do, and I talked about this at my last lecture with relationship, I to go through a really bad relationship to know exactly what I want. And sometimes you go through really bad experience or not have certain things to be like, oh, this is why not settle. It seemed okay at first, but this is what I have to bring this to go into alignment of what you truly want. So you can't really judge things about good and bad, but judge how you feel and what vibration that you're elevating, and that you're being your authentic self. So your emotions will always, they are your navigation. So people talk so much about emotions. This is divine feminine, and emotions are a feminine energy aspect, and these are one of your emotional body is closer to your soul body than just your logical mind. And we're in the level of divine feminine. So you need to get more in touch with your emotion, because that's your internal navigation. So that's what I'm saying. Same thing, like I'm so in touch into my body's like, oh, I'm craving grits, or I'm craving something when I was fasting. But okay, I need to drink. I was craving grits and certain things. It's like, oh, that's an iron deficiency. But you have to be in touch. I couldn't be so, oh, I'm on this fast, blah, 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 to the point where I get a heart attack. Like I still did the fast. I still did a 5-day fast. I'm going to continue to increase my fast and different things and detoxing, because a lot of stuff is detoxing when it comes to like eating healthy. it's cleansing too, because you don't want to be overdone with anything, because it's kind of like cleaning your house. Like you could be cleaning up and eating healthy stuff, but every so often you still need to detox it, because there's just going to be metals in the water. It's going to be this stuff. There's going to be all kind of crap. So don't overstress yourself. Like, you might eat McDonald's one day. You might eat a cookie. Don't let it, let it go. But let your mind be your overall thing, be consistent, and then let your overall thing be a strong mind. And when you feel good, and you build an immunity, because more than anything, your mind is more powerful than anything. But again, I'm not gonna preach, just eating KFC fried chicken, like, Popeye's bad stuff all the time. That's just not who I am. I wouldn't be saying that, because those are a lot of energies that'll have like lower frequency. And I'm definitely being on about bringing everything to, depending on the chakras, from the root to the top, about bringing everything to its highest level. And a lot of these things contain things to keep you dumbed down and down to a lower self, and not being able to communicate. And that's just the best thing for you, having an open channel of communication. But the same thing, your mind is so powerful. That's why they create movies, to create, you don't realize how powerful it is. That's why don't be too stressed on either side. Like, have a balance, even then clean yourself out. What I realize is, what you don't understand is the power, and the more wisdom I have, the more power and respect and love I have for my ancestors. One of mine that's still here is my grandmother, how much stuff she showed me unconsciously that I didn't know, that was the true roots of a soul. And then maybe her not being conscious, even though she's Christian and stuff like that, that was so deep, that was truly in tune to the spiritual self and the higher self. She cleansed herself out. She had aloe plants. She knew how to grow food. All these things that are organically spiritual and more in tune with the earth, Mother Earth, and yourself, and the sand and stuff that would just naturally, but it didn't have to name for it, and which it doesn't have to have a name for it. So I have a very high respect for my elders, even the respect from, like, okay, the wisdom of experience, like, oh, this is what's going on, that she could just see stuff. Like, she said, I was like, oh, this person not gonna say that. She could see it when I didn't even realize it. So even before I left, I was like, okay, well, from what she says, when she makes an observation about something, she's right on point. So that's a lot of stuff to learn. But yeah, I don't even I really got off with this. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is just about the blueprint of your soul, learning yourself first, learning that everyone is absolutely different. There is not one way to do anything. That everything has multiple ways, multiple routes, and some things are just for you. I think people need to be a little bit more worried about, and not worried to the point, because I don't even like to say it, not worried to the point, okay, we're stressed out, but worried more about the destination, not how your route is to get there, because there's several routes to get to the same place. And just because you did this route here, that is, again, it really depends on the blueprint of your song. I mean, of your, maybe a song, it came out that way, but it really depends on the blueprint of you and what you came here and your mission on earth, how you got here. Like I said, even for me, there might be a certain level of struggles that I needed to do to be a sympathetic, empathetic leader that might not have been in the blueprint of someone else that, okay, this went, okay, at 20, or they're a CEO, billionaire. There might have been certain things that I had to do, because I've been through so many experiences, I can relate to a lot of people. So when I, as me as a leader, I'm empath, I'm sympathetic, I'm energetic, sensitivity, very sensitive, and like heighten things, and actually, like, sensitivity is really good. It's being aware. They talk about bats, like sensitivity, like it's bad. No, it's being aware. You're aware and in tune to your higher self. That's why you could pick up on people's emotions, animals' emotions, and things like that. That's the things of being highly sensitive. So, like, a lot of these places, it's kind of like they're trying to do this desensitizing thing, and again, you're out of alignment and you're out of in touch with nature, and that's kind of like a lot of the leads and the elites. They kind of want to have you out of touch, because they have no connection to nature. They have no connection to the source or to the mother. Even Earth has an energy and a frequency and a vibration. But yeah, that was it. Main thing, this one sounded like it came out pretty good, so this was the one I was meant to do. So be on your own blueprint. If you have to start off writing it down before you go to bed, write it before, but like, be committed and make a declaration to the universe And if it's hard for you to find your blueprint, start, like I said, when you're little, what you naturally love, but be committed to it even through because sometimes even the people that bother you are part of a test to be on your mission to show, to prove to yourself, okay, how committed am I to this goal? And don't be afraid to change goals, but realize that you don't have to just follow one path, and you don't have to let someone, get you down because that's their path, the way that they went about and got to their thing. You never know the finish line until you're at it, and then once you hit that finish line, there'll be another goal, because your entire span on this plane is going to be ascension, because that's what your spirit just does. It just wants to always go higher and excel and evolve, because it's part of the source. The source gets this information and sends it back in the universe, and it's okay, this was works, this was doesn't work, and it experience and accumulates all the experience and creates the true consciousness of us all. So it's always going to be expanding and expanding and expanding and changing and changing and changing and changing and changing, built on the blueprint. But you have to realize you play a part, but you have to play your part. You can't be a foot acting as a head, and you can't be a hand acting as an ear. And then you have to realize all the things, and this is in Christianity, this is in the book too. But again, you have to read the Bible with the new mind. That's why you can't just throw a thing out. The hand is it not of the body? The foot is not of the body, it's the head. And you have to realize, stop putting on what your perception, what you think is important or not, because the foot to me is just as important as the head. The foot every day doesn't even get enough credit. It holds the weight of your entire body. It stands you up. If it wasn't for your feet, you wouldn't stand. So you have to look at that, and it supports the entire body always, like tirelessly. You know what I'm saying? The heart, that is your emotional center. Your hands, this is how you grab, and this is what you create things with it. So don't be like everything is one. So don't give it like a priority of importance. Play your role. If you're a dancer, be superb in dance. If you're a singer, be superb in singing. If people do, I see people now following the blueprints too, because they're looking at what someone else is successful. But again, that's their mission. Don't be a singer out here and you're trying to be a dancer, unless they're both naturally your talented gifts. But I see that all the time. Like, I've seen that dancing, when they're elevating at soul level to the point where it made me cry. But I also seen people that were naturally gifted dancers should have did their dancing and expand on that. Then God give them other talents and gifts, but no, instead of doing that, they're watching everyone else and trying to expand on their gifts. So that's it on both ends. Follow the blueprint for yourself, from following inside yourself and not being used to external factors and having them sway what you think or what your path. Do follow the heart center, what feels right for you, and step out on faith and just try it and see what works and doesn't work, and give yourself wiggle room and give it at your balance, at your pace. Not everybody has to always leap either. Think about what's right for you and where you feel at that time, and be okay with yourself at that time. Also, don't be so concerned about how other people are doing things, because again, that's that path to where it'll scare you to be like, okay, let me go off this way. Kind of like the metaphor, the person that was doing the diamonds. He had a huge diamond, he was almost there, but he just gave up, and he looked and he jumped to the other person's well, and his stuff was already there. So be focused on your blueprint and your path. So that's the lecture for the day, January 5th, 2017, Gregorian calendar. Peace.